Barry Mathis with shoulders. Andrew Walton will blow the whistles. We are underway. Game number 2 of the OVC tournament. 7th seeded racers with the basketball first. They go with Jonathan Stark, Bryce Jones, G. McGee at the guards. Their forwards Terrell Miller and Jalen Dupree. They go right into Miller. Miller is a load. Soft hands underneath. This one rolls out, tipped out. It'll stay with the racers. Miller, an OVC first team selection as well. Also a member of the all newcomer team.
He just looks mean, doesn't he? You just look at him, you're like, I don't want to guard him. Tennessee Tech's going to have a size disadvantage. They have all year. They're in the 2-3 zone. You're going to see a lot of zone tonight from Tennessee Tech.
Miller's come out active. Missed one inside. He missed the 3. He'll play inside and out, but the racers again get an offensive rebound. Good two-man game underneath, and Dupree gets the first bucket for the racers.
Great high-low action. Coach McMahon's got to like seeing that to start the game.
Jalen Dupree coming off his best game as a racer. 20 points, 11 rebounds Saturday night in a loss at UT Martin. As we check the Golden Eagles starters, is Jugovic going to get a quick look from 3, and he'll drain it out of that left corner.
Well, you got to know where he's at. A little loose ball, gambled right there.
3-guard lineup of Jugovic, K. John Mack, Hakeem Rogers, Mason Ramsey, Curtis Phillips are the 2 forwards for head coach Steve Payne and the Golden Eagles. Face up, Dupree around the rim, it won't go. So now the Golden Eagles, K. John Mack, senior. He also is a transfer out of Tulane, so I'm sure he knows Mr. Stark well. They were teammates. Here's Ramsey, gets one of his first touches. Skip pass, way over in the right corner. 3-ball up and won't go. Pinball around and the racers have it. Step back start. Left that one short.
That looked a little out of rhythm, out of characteristic. I really thought he was going to take the ball all the way to the rim there. He's so good in transition, but settles for the jump shot. That's a break for Tennessee Tech. Good look at Steve Payne right there. One of the pacers in college basketball, always up and down the sidelines.
And his 6th year in Cookeville as the head coach. Ramsey, who had his best game of the year against these racers, had a 19-point game against Murray State, and he gets 2 here.
You called it right there. He had a great game the first time around. They double-teamed him the first time. Second time he got it, there was nobody around. He had the angle. Nice finish for the Livingston Academy graduate.
Tech out to the 5-2 start. Three is up and too strong. Another offensive rebound and a big kicker off there. Right to Stark. His 3 off the mark. Racers ice cold to start this one. Back the other way. Tech in a hurry. Everything but the finish that time by Rogers.
That's his game in transition. He normally finishes that.
Stark takes it right at Ramsey. Whistle blows. He gets knocked down. He'll shoot 2.
Good look at Coach McMahon right there. Likes what he sees in transition for sure.
Curtis Phillips picks up his first. And that'll give us a good look at Jonathan Stark, 6 foot 175 junior from Mumford, Tennessee. Again, played at Tulane, was a Conference USA All-Freshman selection his first year with Tulane. Number 1 scorer in the league, and it was a battle all year with Evan Brads and Josh Robinson.
Sure
Those
was.
3 went back and forth each night, checking each other's press clippings. 82% free throw shooters. He hits them both. 1-point game. Golden Eagles with the ball.
See the double team right there to Ramsey right away, and he avoids it. Great finish. What a great move right there by Ramsey. You saw Miller come from the high side, and Dupree did a poor job of cutting off the baseline. And what a quick spin. Showed some athleticism right around him, and good finish.
Dupree picked up the foul, his first. Ramsey, the former walk-on. And he has 5 points to start this game. Something about the racers. We mentioned 19 points in the only meeting this year. A 4-point win in Cookeville back on January 7th. So almost 2 months since these 2 teams played. And Dupree want a high-low look. Two players posting up. Miller will get it. Go round Ramsey, and he'll rip it away from him. A block from behind. Well, Mason Ramsey's highlight reel is right here. These first few minutes of this game, offensively and defensively.
He set the tone for the Eagles.
Strong drive. It won't go for Phillips. Battle for that loose ball. Can you tell it's March? Stark, put it in. Foul. After the shot went in, they're going to count the bucket for Stark.
And they're going to take the ball out of bounds. Potential 5-point play here for Murray State. There was a push-off after Stark shot it right there. That's a huge break for the Racers.
K. John Mack picked it up. The senior out of Los Angeles. Mack at 6'3" is the leading rebounder for the Golden Eagles.
And they're being generous when they say 6'3".
Stark will penetrate. Can't get it to go. Dupree battles for it. It's off of the freshman, and the Golden Eagles will have it when we come back. So a fast pace to start this game. These two teams don't mind getting up and down. 8-6 Golden Eagles leading Murray State here at the OVC tournament presented by visitmyrtlebeach.com.
9 consecutive.
Back here at Municipal Auditorium. Coach, you and I were just about to discuss that, but as we look at Matt McMahon and the Racers.
They got 29 consecutive winning seasons at Murray, and I was fortunate enough to have done the Racer Network for them a couple of years, so I know the fan base, and I know there's a lot watching right now, and there's still hope that if they can win the OVC tournament, which they're very capable of, they could keep that kind of winning streak intact, so to speak.
They are 14-16 overall right now, so if they could win the 4 games in 4 days, get to the big dance, they'd be at 18-16, and even if they bowed out in the first game, would still have a 1 game over 500, would keep the streak intact, and that is an incredible streak of 29 consecutive winning seasons. They've won 24 OVC regular season titles. They've won more OVC tournament titles than anyone else, 15 of them.
15 of them, that's right.
It's a lot of tradition in Murray, Kentucky. And they have owned the series with the Golden Eagles through the years. These two teams first met in 1930, 174th meeting tonight. Racers have won 126 and lost 48. They are 10-2 against the Golden Eagles here in the tournament.
Ramsey's just wearing those guys out on the post and picks up a foul right there, and he's just battling down there. You know, the one thing with Murray State, they have some size, but they don't have length. And Ramsey struggles, having done some prep work for this game, Ramsey struggles more against length and quickness than he does with size. He's in his element in this game.
Breon Sanchez picked that foul up. He didn't start tonight. Jalen Dupree got the start. Sanchez had started every game this year, all 30 of the Racers games, but Dupree had such a great game Saturday night in what was a dismal performance by the Racers, but he was really shining in the game, and he earned the start tonight. Sanchez with it here. They love to look at that high-low and see if they can find Miller down on the block. G. McGee is a streaky player. He'll give it up to Stark. Miller will rise and fire, and it's short. Rebound went through the wickets, but Jugovic able to track it down.
That's what you want Miller to do, is shoot a contested shot. He can shoot the 3. That was kind of an in-between 15-footer contested. That's what you want if you're a Tennessee Tech fan.
Ramsey out on the perimeter now. A nice crossover got by Sanchez. Great ball fake up and in. What a clinic we're seeing here. Seven of the 10 Golden Eagles points belong to the junior out of Livingston, Tennessee, Mason Ramsey. Stark off the screen, around the rim, won't go.
He's had a tough start shooting-wise for the Racers.
Starks missed his 2 3-point attempts. 1 of 5 from the field. Certainly not bashful. And Stark will pick up the foul, his first. 3rd team foul on Murray State. The winner of this game will move on and play Morehead State tomorrow night in the nightcap. The Eagles, the 3 seed, A lot of dribbling in this Tech half-court set, and then the drive taking on 2 defenders was Rogers.
Henry come in there and battled, and he's giving him some length and giving him some, kind of a scoring punch, both rebounding and putbacks in the last few games. There's the double team. That time they made him get rid of it way out. But they can make you pay.
Around the horn, and Jugovic's 3 off the mark. He hit one to start the game in that deep left corner. Drive and a wild shot. No bailout by the whistle as G. McGee throws one up. It's almost like Murray State's playing too fast right now.
Exactly. You hit the nail on it. Too fast, and almost everyone's trying to make a play. Every time they touch it, they're trying to make a play instead of let the play come to them. And there's Mack in transition, and him and Rogers both are so hard to guard in transition as he picks up the foul and getting ready to pick up 2 for the Tech Eagles.
Sanchez got the block, but on the follow-through got a lot of him as well as he picked up his 2nd foul since just coming in. K-John Mack, 75% free throw shooter. And the first points for Mack as he averages 11 a game.
I know we highlighted Jugovic for very good reason, but I really think Mack is the key to this for the Eagles team. He's just been so solid in transition. He can guard. Like you said, he's a leading rebounder. He's kind of the glue guy on top of being the athleticism and the scoring ability.
1 out of 2 for the senior. Now, he still has a year of eligibility. He missed 2 years at Tulane due to injuries, and they're going to appeal and try to get him that 6th year to play. Even though he is a senior in his 5th year, could get 1 more. Blocking foul called.
They both looked at each other right there. Again, that's just what I was talking about. It's almost like every player for Racers is trying to make an individual play, and not doing a very good job of it, quite honestly. Got a break right there with a blocking call.
2nd foul on Mack, so that's big early.
Stephon Adams in the game, gives him some strength, some athleticism, good defender for the Eagles.
Ja'Kai Taylor is in for the Racers as well, freshman out of Waukegan, Illinois. Bryce Jones with it here to start, looking inside for Dupree. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Powerful drive by Miller, went back to get it, then it's knocked away. Now the Golden Eagles on the move. Jugovic. Oh, he struggled to find the handle, but when he did, as he tried to reverse it up, he gets fouled.
A little sloppy play on both ends, but the Eagles are coming up with all the loose balls at this point.
First on Jones, 15th foul on Murray State. Here's Jugovic to the stripe, number 2 in the conference at 90% at the line.
Made 2 huge free throws to beat Jacksonville State at Jacksonville State with a little less than 2 seconds on the clock.
See Steve Payne there, 6th season in Cookeville. And this Jugovic, he can explode, have big nights. 30-point games against Lipscomb. And you see how well they're playing if you live in the Nashville area.
They sure are.
And Tennessee State had 30 points against that defense.
Sometimes when you have a leading scorer in the conference pick up a foul way away from the basket, when you have a guy that's talented, sometimes your offensive flow stagnates because you're waiting for him to make a play. And if you're out there, and quite honest, if you're out there and you haven't touched the ball in a while and the ball gets to you, you're going to try to make a play. So sometimes that offense looks a little fragmented because of that. And Stark not having a good start shooting-wise to the game has really kind of hampered Murray State, which is the reason why they only scored 6 points.
2nd foul on Phillips. Jacardo Hawkins out of Gonzales, Louisiana. St. Bernardino College comes in. He's a JUCO transfer, 2 points, 3 rebounds a game. Ball tipped into the backcourt, but Stark will rescue it. Good quick hands by Rogers.
Yeah, he sure has.
Good no-look. Miller at the elbow, won't go.
Tennessee Tech doing a really good job of mixing their defense. They went to a zone right there, got them out of whack, and that time he had an open look, but just couldn't knock it down.
Adams to Jukovic. Golden Eagles run their half-court set. Couldn't catch it cleanly, was ready to take off. Rogers was. Drive by Jones, nice setup. Can't get it to go. Dupree very active on the backboards. He got it blocked. And it's tipped out. Once again, the officials look at one another. And we'll sort it out when we come back. 11:37 to go in the first half. Golden Eagles with a 13-6 advantage here at the OVC tournament, presented by VisitMyrtleBeach.com. But they have dominated not only the series, but when these two teams have met through the years in the tournament. In fact, they've met 12 times, with Murray State winning 11 of those 12. The only win for Tech came in this building as they won here in Municipal Auditorium back in 2011. They last met in 2012, and that's when the Racers were just running roughshod over everybody that season.
Sure
they
were.
won by 20. And in fact, they went on and beat Tennessee State in a thriller to get to the NCAA tournament that year. And that was the, trying to think, was that Campaign or the Isaiah Cannon? One of those.
That was Isaiah Cannon's group. Turnover, Murray State. Murray State's won for their last 14 from the field. And Tech's turned it over quite a bit. They've only got 3 field goal attempts since the 16-minute mark. And not a cleanly played game right now for either team.
Not at all. 11% from the field are the Racers. Tough drive hanging in the air, and it wouldn't go for Rogers. Foul underneath as they fight for the rebound. Thomas got the foul, his first. So to the stripe, Micaiah Henry, redshirt freshman out of Decatur, Georgia, and he rimmed it out.
There's Adams, the loose ball plays.
Oh, big block, Dupree. I mean, that was a volleyball spike.
Bill Russell been proud because he didn't knock it out of bounds.
Step back, tough shot.
Yeah, that's a good call right there. We had a perfect angle. Henry did a good job, but he just extended too much and really shoved Dupree out of the way there to get that offensive board. So turnover there really for Tech.
15 foul as Ramsey will come back in. Along with Courtney Alexander, sophomore out of Mableton, Georgia. His dad, Courtney Alexander Sr., 13th pick in the 2000 NBA draft. Big time scorer at Fresno State back in the day.
Murray State has not scored in the last 5 minutes.
Inside to Dupree, can't finish. They've had a lot of point blank looks as well.
They sure have.
Adams out to Ramsey. Nice cut right down the lane, and the shot is blown. It wouldn't go for Hawkins.
You know, I used to tell my guys, either dunk it or use the backboard, and he ran if you didn't do either one of those. He should have dunked it or should have laid it off the backboard.
That's his first, 16th foul. Again, the Golden Eagles go to the bench. Savante Frazier, redshirt sophomore out of Lake Wells, Florida, will check in.
He's had some big games for the Eagles, and Steve Payne's been known to use his bench quite a bit. He'll play 10 guys pretty regularly. Very familiar with Lake Wales, Florida, coached in that same district, central part of Florida. Great basketball in Polk County. A lot of talent over the years. A lot of football talent. A guy named Ray Lewis, people might know.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, people might know have heard Tracy McGrady as well.
Yeah. Ball kicked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Racers. Two teams on losing streaks. Racers have dropped 3 in a row coming into play tonight. Tech dropped 2 games on their road swing to wrap up the season. Miller has his shot blocked. Oh, great help defense by Alexander. Went high up in the elevator to knock that one down.
Tech hasn't scored a field goal in the last 4.5 minutes. So we've had a huge drought on both ends of the floor.
Now Frazier to Jugovic. He'll pull up contested jumper. Stark right there with it.
Well, defensively, I think both teams have made concerted effort to make sure they contest all shots. And I know that sounds simplistic, but they're not gambling trying to get steals. They're trying to guard people. There's the big-time shooter right there.
Well, that might open the floodgates for Stark.
Well, it feels like Tech dominating. It's a 4-point game.
7 for Stark, but it has been a struggle early.
They'll try to isolate Ramsey on the block.
Ramsey will get a touch here, and Dupree's hanging all over him. So Jalen Dupree will pick up the foul. Number 2 on Dupree, 18th foul already on Murray State.
You see if Coach McMahon subs in for Dupree with his second foul. You know, I've seen a lot of games on video and with Ramsey, and I've heard a lot of guys say, well, he just brings his lunch pail because that's the guy, he's just a workhorse. He brings everything to the table. Brings his lunch pail to work because it's work for him.
This is the free throw, and the Racers back the other way in a blink of an eye. Three-pointer good by Jones.
And that's what Murray State's been so good at through the years, is in transition, finding guys. They've always had the players to make those threes.
That's his 50th of the year for the senior out of Brooklyn, New York. Ramsey got open and laid it in, and he's fouled.
McGee picks up the foul. He's pleading his case, but
so back to the line goes Ramsey at 63%, 1 of 2 from there tonight. 9 points already.
it's how much the game has changed over the years as he knocks down the three-point line has changed the game of basketball, because Murray State hadn't scored in 6 minutes. 2 possessions, bang 2 threes, and they're right back in it. And that's the excitement the three-point line has done for college basketball.
Now Stark trying to keep it going. Over to McGee, another very streaky player for Murray State. Shot clock at 9 as Stark takes some tough shots.
Sure does.
But a lot of times he finds the bottom of the bucket. That time it just rimmed out on him. Pass a little too tough. Alexander.
Yeah, a little behind Frazier right there. He was cutting to the basket. Alexander didn't lead him. Turnover.
Sanchez back in, and Dupree will get a breather. Dupree making his first start tonight, the freshman.
Haven't seen a whole lot of turnovers in the game already. Well, I don't think Murray State has one at this point.
Foul away from the ball. Frazier picks up his first. 17th foul on Tech. Micaiah Henry's going to come back in. So it's 1-and-1 time for the Racers at the 8:09 mark. Jones, number 4 in the conference, 88% at the stripe this year.
Good-looking lefty for the Racers.
Jones gets to the free throw line more than any other Racer. He was a preseason All-OVC selection, kind of playing more of a support role this year.
Well, the Racers have fought through injuries. We haven't even mentioned Croker at this point, but they fought through injuries. We only got 11 guys on the roster for this tournament. That just tells you some of the things they've dealt with this year.
With the 2 outstanding newcomers, Stark and Miller, both first-team selections. But Jones still a very valuable member at 12 points a game. Backdoor cut Ramsey. Thought better of it. Now with 4 on the shot clock, Rogers is in all kinds of trouble, and he turns it over.
Yeah, he picked up his pivot foot right there. That's a good call by the officials as we lead into immediate timeout.
16-13 Golden Eagles in a low-scoring affair. 7:41 to go. We'll take a timeout and return to Municipal Auditorium. After this, you're watching the OVC Tournament presented by VisitMyrtleBeach.com. Well, this hasn't been a great shooting game so far. In fact, the Golden Eagles hit one of their last 8. Murray State just 2 of their last 13. Both teams struggling to find a rhythm offensively in this one.
And both teams not known as great defensive teams. We talked about that in pregame, how they're just average defensively. You know, so they've really stepped up the game, and I think they're both trying to feel each other out, so to speak, on what is being effective, what can they really exploit. I think Tech has done a better job with that because Ramsey kind of has carried them in the first half. Murray State's made a couple threes late to get the score the way it is, but neither team has any kind of offensive continuity or flow.
Murray State had a brief 2-point lead on the first bucket of the game, and the Golden Eagles had a 7-point advantage at 13-6. 3-point game here. Jones unable to get through, sets up Miller. Miller puts it on the floor, can't get it to go, but stays with it and tips it in.
His strength and momentum there carried him to the rim, allowed him to get that little tip-in putback.
First 2 of the night. 16 and 8 are his averages on the season. That put him on the OVC's first team and put him on the all-newcomer team. What a season he had out of Southwest Mississippi Junior College. Deep three, way too strong. Miller read it, gets the steal. The big man down the floor, lays it up with the left hand, draws the foul.
I'm going to use the word nimble right there, Barry, because that's kind of what he showed. He was quick right there, and you called it. He anticipated and read the pass, and it showed a little nimbleness there as he had some footwork. Almost had that 3-point play, but really showed some athleticism there.
Terrell be nimble, Terrell be quick. Almost got the big finish there. Fallon Rogers, by the way, his first. Miller to the line, a 76% free throw shooter. Was voted 3 times this year the newcomer of the week in the conference.
Between him and Starks, they kind of dominated that a few times this year.
Well, we hope we don't get to this mark, but the fewest field goals by 2 teams combined in this tournament, 33 by Eastern Kentucky and Morehead State back in 1997. We have just 9 so far tonight.
I gotta think that's gonna change. We're gonna see some open up. Nobody's getting any easy baskets in transition, and they both rely on that. Rogers especially for Tech, Bryce Jones and Stark for Murray State.
And the Racers, thanks to those 2 free throws, taking the lead. They led 2-0. Now they got a 1-point lead here. As the faithful, the Racer faithful back behind us are coming to life. Well, able to keep that pivot foot down, and Curtis Phillips gets his first 2 of the game.
Too much ado with Coach McMahon. He wanted the travel call, didn't get it. Nice putback, or nice finish right there.
Stark on the handoff to Jones. Jones will direct traffic. They want to bring Stark off the screen. He'll take it left wing, puts it on the floor. That cat-like quickness finds Miller. Triple team. Miller splits it. Stays with it. The ball will go out of bounds to Tennessee Tech.
That's great effort right there by Miller. Hustled all over around the basket, then chases the ball all the way out of bounds. And he's giving his heart and soul right here. Only a junior, but obviously this is an important game for him.
71 offensive rebounds coming into play tonight. He gets after it on the backboard. He's kept several plays alive tonight. Ramsey a touch, hasn't had the ball in a while. Nice feed. Back out for a Jugovic catch and shoot 3, and he drained it.
That's Tennessee Tech right there. When I've watched them play this year, they inside out, get the open look, and that was pretty good flow right there. Probably their best half-court offensive possession in the game.
5-0 run by the Golden Eagles. They're back out in front by 4. Stark, deep 3, drained it.
Best thing about scores, they never take a bad shot. Worst thing about scores, they never think they take a bad shot.
Got off to the rocky start tonight, but double figures. He always gets his points. OVC's leading scorer, Jonathan Stark. Jugovic has hit a couple of threes tonight as he bounces here, waiting for Ramsey to cut. Skip pass. Shot clock at 7. Drive to the hole and the finish. Nice move by Curtis Phillips.
That's a good, strong move right there. What caused that, nobody could collapse because they didn't want to help off Jugovic. He gets all the way to the rim as a result. It's
anxious. Ramsey cuts him off, back to Stark. Stark a step back and drains it. Well, he's in the zone now.
That was a Kimball Walker move right there. Freeze the guy to the dribble, pull back, create space, knock it down.
12 for Stark. Lead back down to 1 for the Golden Eagles. Sanchez trying to front Ramsey. Ball knocked free, and the Racers are going to come up with a steal. They look to push. Tech is back. Stark looking for a trailer. It's Miller for 3, off the mark. Followed up and in for the Racers. G. McGee gets his first 2.
Now they're getting the floats, and they're so much better in transition than they are in half court. You saw that right there.
Racers back in front by 1. 3:40 to go, and a foul on the drive by Phillips. And it looks like McGee will pick up number 2. It'll lead us to a break. 1-point game. Racers in front with 3:39 to go here at the OVC tournament, presented by visitmyrtlebeach.com. Well, busy day of basketball here at the Municipal Auditorium. This is game 4 on the day as the women's tournament is being held here as well. Back earlier today, first game of the afternoon, it was a top-seeded Belmont. Their women knock off Southeast Missouri 74-59. They'll advance on and play coming up on Friday. And in game 2 of the women's tournament earlier today, it was Eastern Kentucky, the 7th seed, upsetting Morehead State 73-67. So EKU will move on and play Friday as well. We'll have coverage here on the OVC Digital Network tomorrow, beginning at 1 o'clock. UT Martin, Austin Peay will play, followed by SIUE and Tennessee Tech. Justin Seaman, Brittany Jackson with the call. And already tonight we've had a 3-point overtime thriller. Southeast Missouri beating Tennessee State. So game 2 here, Murray State, Tennessee Tech, and 2 more men's games coming up tomorrow night. Phillips at the line, 5 points as he shoots for point number 6 tonight, averaging 8 points a game. Junior out of Memphis, a transfer from Campbell, gets 1 of 2. Racers still 27% from the field. Tech at 42% so far in this one.
Tech's problem is that they had 7 turnovers already in this game.
Jones, 3 off the mark. Little weave out front, then the drive, and Jones is going to foul Rogers.
Well, Rogers and Mack have been pretty quiet here offensively. Now, Mack's on the bench right now, but Rogers has done a good job getting to the rim, just hasn't been very effective at being productive with it.
That's right, has not scored tonight, 11-point per game score.
Mack's got the 2 fouls. Coach Payne does a nice job using his bench, using a lot of different guys.
A lot of substitutions coming in.
Well, what Coach McMahon did right there, he took out Miller right before the timeout, gave him a minute, went to the timeout, gave him another minute, and brought him back in.
So Rogers' second free throw is up and good. Maybe that'll get him going. So he gets his first 2 points of the night at the stripe. Golden Eagles back in front by 2. We near the 3-minute mark of this first half. Winner gets Morehead State in the nightcap tomorrow night. High-low into Dupree. Ramsey playing behind him. Dupree can't get it to hook in. He has struggled tonight trying to finish in close. Adams with it here. Out of the Virgin Islands, sophomore. Ramsey will get a touch. Hasn't touched it in quite a while.
And look how far out he is. It's hard for him to make a play all the way out that far.
Well, he knew the shot clock with 1 second on it. His spinning turnaround wouldn't go.
That's what we call you bump the guy off the block and really had him out of position. That was a good job by Miller.
Miller will miss this 3. Will stay here as a foul underneath on the Golden Eagles.
On Henry.
Number 2 on him, so Phillips, Mack, and Henry with 2 each for the Golden Eagles. He fouled Dupree, who's going to go to the line. 19th foul, so 1 and 1. Alexander back in for the Golden Eagles. Dupree just the 2 points tonight. Jalen struggling from the field. His first start for the freshman. He's 1 out of 5. 58% free throw shooter on the year.
Didn't look like it right there. Had a lot of backspin, a lot of arch. Looked good. Good look, Coach Payne right there. He's a pacer, as I said. He chews that gum and walks that sideline like nobody's business.
Dupree, good-looking freshman out of Cordova, Tennessee. He didn't score in the earlier meeting when the Racers fell by 4 to the Golden Eagles. 1 out of 2 at the stripe. 3 points for Dupree.
Murray State, Tennessee Martin, and SEMO have all recruited Memphis very, very well through the years.
Adams to Jugovic. Jugovic has hit a couple of threes tonight. He's a guy that's going to get his shot off a pass. Not really going to create off the dribble. Rogers put it to the floor, and then it's a feeding frenzy. A tie-up. Possession arrow is going to stay with the Golden Eagles.
Let's give a lot of credit to the Racers. Their defensive scheme or game plan is really to pinch off the penetration from Rogers and Mack. And so far, so good. They get an A in that category. Rogers hadn't got to the rim very often. When he does, he hadn't got a clean look. Mack's got the 2 fouls on the bench.
They are combined 0 for 6, 3 points, all coming at the line. Those 2 dynamic guards for the Golden Eagles. Adams pull up with 4 on the timer, missed it. And Miller's going to rip it down.
I don't think anybody was going to take that one away from him.
Racers trying to jump back in front, down 1. Stark, slow start, but he's got it going here the latter part of this half. He gets a touch here, he's left open. 8 seconds on the shot clock. He knows it and he goes behind the back, step back, won't go. Rogers got knocked down, foul on the Racers.
Not sure who they gave that on.
Third on McGee. He's the first player for either club to pick up 3 tonight.
Typically, coaches don't leave guys in with 2 fouls. They'd rather have them for the entire second half. You play a guy with 3, then you're setting yourself up in that first 5 minutes of the second half to pick up a quick 4. So
Rogers back to the line. He's perfect tonight. 3 for 3.
This may get him going here. Just getting to the free throw line. If he gets an open look, I bet he'll knock it down. He's got a little confidence going on now.
Rogers out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. Played at Casper College before coming to Tennessee Tech.
Coach Payne taking his use it or lose it timeout.
The Tech will take theirs with a 3-point lead. They've got 1 title down through the years, making their 44th appearance in the OVC tournament. They won this tournament back in 1967. They've made 2 trips to the NCAAs in the program's history back in 1958, 1963. And they've had some really good teams through the years, but have had so much tough luck in this tournament. Several times they've been able to win the league, but they get to the tournament and can't finish the deal, and that is so tough in a 1-bid league.
Well, exactly, Barry. And as good as the OVC is, and as much as you and I both love this conference, it's always going to be a 1-team league. And, you know, occasionally you may have a Murray State, had a breakout Belmont, but typically, because of your non-conference schedule, Belmont and Murray are really the only 2 teams that play a fairly tough. Now, Tennessee State did this year, but typically you're just going to get 1 bid. And you have 1 bad shooting night, 1 bad performance, you're out of the tournament, your season's over.
In fact, that 2012 Murray State team, all the discussion heading into that title game, which they beat TSU in a tight one, would have been if TSU would have won it, Murray would have probably gotten an at-large that year.
Yes, I would agree that year.
Foul here off the miss. Tech doing a good job trying to limit the Racers to 1 shot.
You know, and Tech, they've got many more turnovers than the Racers, but they're getting to the free throw line, and that's extending this lead. And it's not much of a lead, but they've really done a good job, especially Rogers, as, again, he's at the free throw line. Tech hasn't had a field goal in the last 3.5 minutes, but they've continued the pace, continued the flow of the game because they're knocking down free throws.
That was the third foul on Dupree. So Dupree and McGee with 3 each. As Dupree will exit, Sanchez going to come back in.
You know, that may come back to haunt the Racers, but again, we only have 11 guys dressed. Maybe he just felt like he had to have the size on the floor with Ramsey and Henry and Alexander, all 3.
Rogers, all of his points, all 6 coming at the line. 30-25, Golden Eagles by 5. Sanchez, they just back off there in to shoot. Now Miller, Ramsey coming on the double team. Good pass underneath, and the nice finish to Sanchez.
Ramsey came over late on the double team. He kind of hesitated and then went over, and then by that point it was too late. Miller's such a good passer out of the double team. Great look there for the finish on the other side.
Got a 1 second difference in the game clock and the shot clock. Tech going to run it down with this 3-point lead. Now Rogers trying to get his first field goal, but he's going to travel with it. 5.7 to go, so the Racers have it back. A chance to tie as they're down 3.
I know Coach Payne doesn't like that. Good look at Rogers right there, but that was a good call right there. Coach McMahon pleading for a basket for the end of the half, and that's the guy I'd want shooting too.
Stark, great fake, put it up and in. He'll beat the buzzer. Jonathan Stark gets it to go. Makes this a 1-point game at the break. Kind of a weird half as far as the flow to the half, but it was. Murray State came out like they were shot out of a cannon playing too fast, but once they settled in, and they've really done a great job defensively.
Well, they've done a good job defensively, and then they got into some transition baskets, and that's what their whole offense relied on. That's what got Starks going, was a little transition basket, I should say. Then it opened up for him to pull back threes, and give him some credit, because I really didn't think he took a whole lot of bad shots. A lot of times the scorer make 3 or 4 in a row, and then he'll take 3 or 4 bad shots out that. He really didn't. Miller did a nice job of settling down, making some passes. But again, Tech is still up 1. And you got to feel, if you're watching this game here, you got to feel like Tech has an advantage for a couple of reasons. One, Mack didn't score in that half. Am I correct? I'm pretty sure he didn't.
1 point.
I'm sorry, he had 1 point. Basically, he didn't score in that half. You know that's not going to happen in the second half. He's such a good player. 2, Murray State's too big. They got 2 very important defensive players with 3 fouls. That could come back to haunt them in the second half.
Jonathan Stark, high point man with 14. Mason Ramsey with 10 to lead the Golden Eagles. So at the intermission, it is a 30-29 Golden Eagle lead over Murray State. We'll take a break. We'll come back and recap some of this first half for you later on here at the halftime before the second half gets underway. Golden Eagles by 1 here at the Municipal Auditorium as you're watching the 2017 OVC Men's Basketball Tournament presented by VisitMyrtleBeach.com. Murray and Moorhead played the one time this year. It was one heck of a ball game. They played at Moorhead back on February 8th, a 100-101 win for Moorhead State in overtime.
A lot of points. We sure didn't think we were going to see that at the beginning of this game.
Now the Racers with it to start this second half, and Stark turns it over. They only had 1 turnover in the first half, and they come out and give it up here, first possession.
We jinxed them.
Pump fake from 3, step in, better look at it, missed it. Another miss by Mack.
Really flat, awkward shot by Mack. You could tell he may take him a little time to get in the flow of the game.
Miller's 3 too strong. That's only Mack's second shot tonight.
We talked about this in the first game. A lot of times when you're in foul trouble and you sit the majority of the first half, sometimes it takes you a little while to get going that second half, or you may try to do too much early.
Jugovic hit a couple of threes in the first half, 8 points. Here on the drive, that's what you want to make him do, is put it on the floor.
Not as effective. When he drives, he's going to go all the way to the rim. He does not really have a pull-up jumper, so when he puts the ball on the floor, you might as well guarantee he's going to put his head down and get to that rim.
Third foul on Jones, so Jones, McGee, and Dupree with 3 fouls each. And Jugovic, 2 of 2 at the stripe tonight, will shoot for double figures as he makes the first.
Almost automatic, 90%er for the year.
By the way, Dupree got his first start tonight. The freshman had just the 3 points on 1 of 5 shooting, but 9 rebounds in the first half for him. 10 for Jugovic. He averages 15. He's out of Serbia, and he gives the Golden Eagles a 3-point advantage. Coach McMahon has gone back to start the second half with Sanchez, who started every game this year before tonight, so Dupree will come in off the bench. Sanchez gets a touch here. Little jump hook over Ramsey. One and done as the rebound pulled down by Phillips.
Looked good, just a little short on his touch right there, that close.
Ramsey will take it, top of the key. They'll cut off of him. Ramsey, quick touch and quicker hands. Nice steal. Stark read that play. Scouting report took that one away from him. Stark all the way, can't finish. They're going to stay here as the foul will be on the Golden Eagles. A nice crash of the glass by McGee.
They're going to give that to Rogers right there. And Rogers was actually in front of Miller. Called it on the floor, so the ball's going to be out of bounds. But tough call there for Rogers.
His second. We look down to our right under the basket that the teams are at now. We see Preston Spradlin and some of the Morehead State coaching staff getting a scout for this one. Racers only getting 2 bench points in that first half. Sanchez, who didn't start tonight but came in, got a couple of points. That's a foot race you're not going to win as Stark goes baseline against Ramsey.
And again, you know, we've talked about mismatches. A lot of people think the best mismatch is a big on a smaller guy. It's just the opposite because the game has changed to dribble penetration. And anytime you can get a big guy to guard somebody on the floor, take him off the dribble every time, you're going to get a layup, drawn kick, or in that case, got the foul right there for Stark.
Just the first foul on Ramsey. Miller swings it. Stark all day to dial it up and drains it.
You called it all day to dial it up. You give him that much time, he's going to make you pay. Great look by Miller.
You mentioned Miller in the first half is a great passer. How can the Golden Eagles answer? We're deadlocked at 32. Third tie in this game. 3 off the mark, continue to struggle as Rogers can't get the field goals going. Jones, hard drive, Miller able to rescue it. Stark bags for it, puts up, same spot, same result.
Obviously, momentum has switched, but I think a lot of it has to do with their defense, and I think their defense is fed off their offense. A lot of teams get their defense, you know, their offense fed off their defense. It's just the opposite for Murray State.
3 off the mark by Phillips. Long rebound, kicks out for Tech. Rogers, great feed inside. Good help defense. G. McGee got the block. Ooh, Jones pass kicked out of bounds. Racers will keep it. They have their biggest lead of the night of only 3.
You know, that was just simple fundamental. If Sanchez would have ran to the opposite block instead of the front of the rim, then Jones could have made that pass right there, but the spacing on the floor didn't allow him to make that pass. And that's just simple, 2-on-1 basketball. Get spacing to allow the guy to make a play.
Stephon Adams is back in for Tech. Stark. This 3 off the mark. Foul underneath as Mack got knocked to the floor.
Can't fault the effort there for sure. He came crashing in right there. You got a good look.
Third foul on Sanchez. So now 4 Racers have 3 fouls. Jones, Sanchez, McGee, and Dupree. No Golden Eagle with more than 2.
Mack's going to have to step up and make some plays here. If the Eagles want a chance to win, I think he's going to have a big second half.
Off the handoff, it rims out on Jugovic. Tipped out to go to Murray State, and Phillips does not agree. Dupree back in, the freshman with 9 big rebounds in that first half.
6-0 run by Murray State here in the last minute and 40. Let's rephrase that. Jonathan Stark's run of 6-0 in the last minute and 40.
He's got 20. 4 3-pointers tonight. OVC's leading scorer, 21 a game. Miller's going to back down. Again, a late double team by Ramsey. Sets up an easy look for Dupree.
Dupree with the finish this half. Struggled with that in the first half, but Miller kind of hand-wrapped, gifted it for him.
Racers by 5, their biggest lead. Tech needs a bucket, and they can't find one.
See, I was talking about how Murray State's energy's fed off their offense. When they make a good play, their defense picks up. A lot different than a lot of other teams.
Timeout on the floor. Good start for Murray State. On an 8-2 run, they have a 5-point lead. We're back to the Municipal Auditorium in Nashville after this. You're watching the OVC tournament presented by visitmyrtlebeach.com. Now we see the Racer bench. They are trying to avoid their first-round loss in 10 years. They lost to Sanford, who was a member of the league for a short period of time back in 2007. A 10-point loss to them back at the Bridgestone Arena now. Back then it was called the Gaylord Entertainment Center. And Murray State, they have been a staple in this tournament. Most titles of any team in the league, 15 of those. Their overall record in their 51st OVC tournament, 65-36.
They love their basketball in Racer Nation, that's for sure. And for good reason. For very good reason.
Typically, if you're going to win this tournament, year in, year out, you got to go through Murray State. Ramsey, good help defense.
That time the defense bumped him out and the double team came, really giving him struggles now.
Dupree came over to help out Miller. Just can't get that 3 ball to drop tonight, 0 for 5. And he's going to lose the foot speed race there as the blow by, that time by Stephon Adams.
It seemed like a choppy game, but it's really because of the poor shooting, because only 11 turnovers total for the game. So it's really about just making shots, and I think it's a lot of it has to do with the energy and the effort on the defensive end for both teams.
Both teams almost shooting an identical percentage from the field. Right at 30%, both teams. Adams, 75% on the year, sophomore from the Virgin Islands. 1 out of 2. So the Golden Eagles, no field goals this half. They are 3 of 4 at the free throw line.
Well, that kept them in it in the first half. They're going to have to come up with some field goals. I think, again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record. People don't, the young generation don't know what a record is, but I keep repeating myself, but Mack and Rogers have got to step up and make some plays for the Eagles.
Yep, no field goals between the two. 7 points all at the free throw line. Stark sets up Dupree, gets the easy dunk. Seven for Dupree. Lead back to 6 for Murray State. Ramsey's going to step out of the paint, try a 3, it won't go. Nothing going down for Tennessee Tech. Stark, the runner, rims out. Big rebound by Mack. Team's leading rebounder at 6'3". And a carry is called. Tech's going to turn it over.
Well, I'm not sure it was or wasn't, but it's a difficult call to make from a trailing official right there. Tough break there for Mack.
Mack and Rogers a combined 0 for 9 from the field tonight. They each average 11 points per game on the year.
You know, you got to give credit where credit's due. To give the coaching staff for the Racers credit for establishing the game plan and defensive scheme there to take him out of the game. And we're seeing Tech now into a zone.
Miller, blocking foul underneath. It'll be on Mack. That'll be number 3. He's the first Golden Eagle to pick up 3.
You see Phillips come back in the game. He's going to look at Mack right there. You can see the frustration on his face. See the body language. He's not happy about his player or his team play at this point.
So Miller to the line, 2 of 2 tonight, just 4 points for him. A 76% free throw shooter.
Miller's giving his team an added boost right here, but Stark is, we witnessed this in the first game. One player kind of single-handedly willing their team, and now Stark he's 7 for 17 with 20 points. The rest of the team 7 for 29, 1 for 8 from the three-point line. He's 4 for 7 alone from the three-point line. So it just tells you how important he is for his team.
Well, we saw Denzel Mahoney, young freshman, put the Redhawks on his back and get them into the second round. Can Stark, the junior, the leading scorer in the league, do it for Murray State? Turnaround finally goes.
Awkward shot, off balance, but enough presence. They finally get a field goal. Almost 7 minutes here into the second half. First field goal.
Racers had their big lead of the night of 8 before Henry got his first 2. Now Tech's going to try to get a stop. Stark, a lot of dribbling, not much movement on this offensive set. Here's G. McGee, sets up Dupree, tough catch. And Dupree will draw the foul on the inside on Henry.
Tech went back to the man-to-man right there, and that was great vision right there, coming off the ball screen. But Dupree kind of curled back around on the backside block right there. That was a great look right there. Dupree's going to have a chance to pad his stats, so to speak.
Third foul on Henry as Steve Payne looks on. Jalen Dupree, 2 of 3 at the line tonight. 8 points for him. Averages 4 points a game, made his first start tonight, coming off a 20-point, 11-rebound game at UT Martin. And again, he's a freshman. We have seen some really good-looking freshmen here tonight on night 1 of this tournament.
Well, it's a bright future for the OVC for sure.
Ramsey double team comes, swings it out. 3 ball is good. Well, that get him started. Hakeem Rogers.
The double team came. Ramsey didn't force it. Looked opposite elbow, which is always good in a double team.
Miller, great position, put it up and in, and he's fouled by Henry.
He really just abused Henry right there. Pinned him high. Henry's on the high side, bumped him up the lane, and just created that space right there and really abused him, so to speak, for the three-point opportunity.
Number 4 on Henry. And the Golden Eagles will go to their bench. Ricardo Hawkins at 6'8" will come in for the 6'9" Henry, and Miller is going to go to the line to try to complete the three-point play. 4 of 4 from there tonight, 8 points for him. Jeremy Grace back in for Murray State. He played briefly in the first half. Sophomore out of Dallas, Texas. And G. McGee will get a breather.
When you look at Tennessee Tech right here, you know, their 3 guys have really struggled. Mack had 17 against them the first time, and he's got 1 point tonight. So for Murray State, their 2 all-OVC players are carrying this team. Right now, that's what the Eagles need to happen. Jugovic, Rogers, and Mack. And there's Rogers. Had the big one before, knocks down one off the dribble.
Back-to-back threes. 65 made three-pointers this year. 2 big ones here in this second half when his team needs it. Racer big lead of 8's been cut in half. Jones drive on Jugovic, reversed it in, and he's fouled.
What an athletic play. A mini Isaiah Thomas for the Racers right there as he puts the ball on the floor. And I don't know how he had enough English and length to spin that ball and reverse it on the opposite side. But that is his dominant left hand, but still, what a great individual play there by Bryce Jones.
He's got 6 tonight, 88% free throw shooter. He had 17 against Tech in that earlier meeting. Maybe he can heat up for Murray State. Seven-point lead. Can Rogers stay hot? It's hit back-to-back threes. Jugovic, Jones right up in it. And Jugovic returns the favor. He'll draw the foul this time on Jones.
Knock knees right there. He's in a little pain right there, as you can see, walking back to the free throw line. Again, we just talked about it. When he puts his head down, he is going all the way to the rim. And You don't want, you got to chase him off the three-point line, but you can't foul him because that's obviously a 90% free throw shooter.
Fourth foul on Jones. Five of 5 tonight at the stripe is Jugovic. Nicknamed Serbian Sugar. He's out of Serbia. And he continues to be perfect at the line. Alexander back in for Tech. 5-point game, 12-minute mark.
You look at the matchup here. We got Mack.
Dupree will bounce it into Miller. No double team this time, and he'll get fouled.
That was an interesting scheme by Tennessee Tech. They had him so well scouted. Mack was guarding Miller at the high post, waiting for the ball screen, and it was just an automatic switch right there, and they couldn't isolate him on the block.
Alexander got his first. It'll lead us to a break. Racers by 5 with 11:46 to go. We'll return to Nashville after this timeout. You're watching the OVC tournament presented by VisitMyrtleBeach.com. Favorite, Racers about a 3.5-point favorite in this game, and that's kind of where we've been all night. It's been close.
Sure has. Well, you can't count Murray State out at any point in time against anybody in the league. And Tennessee Tech gave Belmont one of their only losses of the year, you know, so both teams are very capable of playing at a high level.
Miller at the line. He was fouled by Alexander right before our media break. And Terrell's first miss at the line tonight. He was 5 for 5 until he missed that one.
Well, Rogers they've only had 3 field goals made this entire half, Tennessee Tech. Rogers made the 2, but he's missed the first 6 that he shot in this game. So he's come alive. Let's see if that can propel the Eagles back to a little comeback here as Miller makes the second.
Murray State 14 points off of 10 Tech turnovers. Racers also 10 second chance points on a 9-7 offensive rebound advantage. Into Ramsey, Miller's behind him. The official up top's going to call it. The official underneath didn't blow his whistle.
I think that's the frustration sometimes as a coach and even as a player, you know, that's hard to see right there. Whether it happened or didn't happen, the point is it's difficult to see at best from that angle.
Mack gets it into Jugovic. Ramsey not scored this half, had 10 points, had about a 5-point flurry very early to start the game. He'll get a touch here. No double team. Always going to dribble into the paint. Dumped it underneath, and the layup was blown. Just missed it, point blank by Phillips. Out for the 3, Rogers can't get it, Miller rips it down.
What a tough layup miss right there for Phillips. And Ramsey finally didn't get the double team right there. Made a great pass, but man, you got to make layups. You don't get, those are few and far in between, and when you're struggling from the field, you cannot miss those.
Ball deflected, and it'll go off Grace. Great quick hands that time by Mack.
See what set the Eagles run right here. See who they're going to try to get involved. They've been starting Mason right there at the high post.
Jugovic ripped out a tough 3.
And look on his face, Scow. He knew that was a tough shot right there. Probably wasn't the best shot.
Miller will try 3. Little secondary break. The trailer missed it.
Coach McMahon not happy with that shot right there.
Now the Golden Eagles another chance to cut into that 6-point Racer lead. Mack wanting to work on Grace, sets up Phillips 3, way too strong, shot that one over the rim.
And the crowd's gonna let him know about it too. He's had a tough stretch here the last couple minutes.
Golden opportunities missed by the Golden Eagles these last couple of trips down. Stark misses. Miller kept it alive, but the Golden Eagles have it, trying to hurry. Rogers never had it cleanly, still hit the three.
Didn't matter. When you're feeling it for Rogers. Third three-pointer of the half, and single-handedly he's keeping his team in it. If he can get some help from Mack or Ramsey or Jugovic, they might be able to get some chances here to win it late.
15 for Rogers. Three won't go by Grace. That ignites the break. Rogers kind of got caught on the wrong step, flipped it up, it wouldn't go. Battle for it, and pinballs out to Stark. Stark hangs in the air, put it in, and gets the foul on
How
Ramsey.
did he do that? He defied gravity at that point. He was waiting for the contact. Ramsey was trying to do his best not to let him get it up on the rim, and holy cow, what a great individual play right there. And he's just following line of the great guard play that the Racers have had throughout the years, from Isaiah Cannon to Campaign, and now to Jonathan Stark.
22 for Stark. 8 here in the second half. What a wild scramble that was.
It's a big momentum change right there.
Gilbert Thomas in, Terrell Miller will check out. He'll get a breather before the next media break. Racers by 6. Golden Eagles have had some chances to cut into that lead. They run their weave out high. Jugovic to Mack. Mack still with just 1 point tonight. Backdoor cut.
Pretty good execution, all but the pass. They had him on the back door right there. That was the call. That was the play right there. It was to isolate, get the back door play.
On the kick.
So the question is, on a kick ball with the shot clock, we're keeping it at 15 seconds.
Now Jugovic. Mack comes straight up top of the key to take it off the screen. Down to 5 on the timer. He knows it. Gonna launch a deep three. And got it! First field goal of the night from Mack, and it is a big-time three. Cuts the lead in half. Sanchez bangs into Ramsey, clears it back out. Now Grace to Stark. Stark trying to answer. Off the mark, ripped down by Phillips.
See if this gets Mack going, because it was an awkward-looking three and went in for him.
Foul on Gilbert Thomas. His third. Never really got in front of his defender, or the offensive player. Miller's going to come quickly back in for him, so a short breather, not quite a minute for Miller.
I think he was trying to wait to get through the media timeout and just couldn't get there.
Golden Eagles can tie it with a three. Spinning wild shot will roll in. Incredible move by Rogers.
That's the athleticism we've seen all year from Rogers, and he's starting to show it there. Awkward looking shot, off balance, but enough presence to knock it in.
Now 17 for him. Stark just flips one back over his head, hoping to get bailed out by a whistle. He will not. Tech can take the lead. Jugovic, three in the air, rimmed out.
That's their shot. He had it, had an opportunity there.
Stark barely got it. He will not. 10
10
second
seconds.
call. Taking his time up the floor, and he looked up and tried to put the afterburner on, but a good call by the official. Murray State will turn it over, and we head to a break. 52-51 Racers by 1, 7:22 to go. We're back after this. You're watching the OVC tournament presented by VisitMyrtleBeach.com. Coach Matt McMahon in his second year. 1-1 in this tournament from a year ago, and he's going to try to get to one more round, try to survive this one and get a shot at Morehead State tomorrow night. Murray State with a turnover right before the media break. Stark just didn't get it across the timeline. 10-second count. Foul here, Grace. Fouls Mack.
Grace has really struggled in this game, just for the sheer fact defensively. He's had a couple he's had a turnover already, and this defense with Bryce Jones on the bench, he's getting more time than he probably should in a normal situation here. And Mack just kind of took advantage of that inexperience right there and gets to the foul line. And again, he knocks down the three. And you said this best earlier. A lot of times, shooters, if you get the free throws, you can get it going. And you saw the frustration right there. When he missed that, he's really frustrated. He's got to let it go. He's got to worry about the next shot and the next play. That's the only way you get out of funks like this.
75% on the year, but 1 of 3 tonight at the stripe. Five points for Mack. Dupree back in. And we're tied up 4th time tonight. Had an overtime game in game number 1 this evening with Southeast Missouri. Surviving against Tennessee State. This one looks like another one right to the wire. Good feed. Miller lays it in.
That's a good set call right there. He went off the ball screen, refused it, went the other way, and Miller timed it and pinned Ramsey up for that post pass.
12 tonight for Miller. Rogers has been scorching hot here in this half. Sets up Phillips 3, left side, good!
You know, I'm happy to see that he knocks down that three. Missed the layup, missed a wide open three badly, and boy, he had enough presence and enough confidence to knock that three down. Now you're going to see the zone here. It's a 1-3-1 by Tech. I'm surprised they haven't done this sooner than later.
G. McGee, back to Grace. Grace steps into this one way too strong, but the rebound caroms right to Dupree. He's been a magnet for that basketball tonight.
That's why he was rewarded with the start. You touched on it with his big performance against Tennessee Martin, and he's earned it again. He had 8 boards in the first half. I'm sure he's double digits at this point.
He's at 10 with that one. Ramsey got the foul, his 3rd.
That's the reason why he's shooting 50% from the free throw line. He never got set. His feet weren't squared away, never followed through, and you could see he feels very uncomfortable at the free throw line.
This one much better.
Absolutely, much more confidence.
9 points for Dupree tonight and 10 rebounds. He makes his first start.
7 field goals for Tennessee Tech in this half, 5 of them threes. That's the reason why they're in it. It's a tie game.
Tied up for the 5th time. Is Mack ready to go to work. Straight away 3, off the mark Phillips. Can't hit 2 in a row, and Miller pulls it down. Into Dupree, has the size advantage, rushed it a bit. Loose ball, Grace kept it alive somehow to Dupree. They get a fresh shot clock off that miss.
Tennessee Tech screaming for a 3-second call, didn't get it.
Stark missed the 3. And we'll get the foul on Dupree at his number 4. Bryce Jones, Jalen Dupree with 4 each for Murray State. Micaiah Henry has 4 for Tech.
And Mack's going to get a chance to get the free throw line. He's being much more productive here in the offensive end, even though it's by free throws. He made a big 3 at the end of the shot clock. But again, the 3-headed monsters for them have got to be good here the last 5 minutes if they want to win.
So now Jones back in for the youngster Grace. Grace only plays about 8 minutes a game, but he had to play some big minutes tonight with Jones in foul trouble.
We saw this earlier tonight when we saw SEMO had some guys in foul trouble and hung on, keep them on the floor. And Tennessee State got in foul trouble and lost 2 of their key players late for foul trouble. So it's interesting to see if Murray State, they got 2 guys with 4 and 3 with 3, who's going to be able to stay on the floor here at the end of the game.
Mack just can't hit 2 in a row tonight. 1 of 2 each time he's been to the stripe. Tech by 1, 5:10 to play. Opening night of the OVC tournament, already an overtime game in game 1. The winner of this game plays same time tomorrow night, and they'll take on Morehead State, the 3 seed.
You can look at the matchup. You got Miller, got Rogers on Miller down low. Big size advantage, and he can't touch it.
Shot clock at 2 as Stark has the shot blocked, and a run out the other way to Phillips. Stark tries to get back. Shot is blocked. McGee can't believe it. And Stark will get the foul with the contact to the body, his second.
What a great defensive possession there by Tennessee Tech. And opportunity here to extend the lead. It's just been back and forth. Every time you feel like Murray's got a handle, got some confidence going on, Tennessee Tech battles back.
Phillips at the line, 8 points tonight. 1 out of 2 at the stripe in the first half. A lot of iron, but it stays down. 76% on the year. He's a transfer from Campbell, was a Big South Conference all-freshman team member there. As he makes his 8th straight start. Two big ones. Now Henry will come in with the 4 fouls. Phillips will get a breather.
Henry coming in with the 4 fouls, and I think it's because of the matchup that they had last time down the floor that they were fortunate Murray State didn't take advantage because Rogers got switched on Miller on the post.
Tech back up by 3. Now the Racers need to do something in their half-court set. Stark puts his head down, goes to the rim. 3 defenders around him, and a great block by Henry. The 1-on-3 plays don't work too often.
No, right now Stark is just looking for a foul instead of trying to make a play. You try to make a shot and the foul comes secondary. Right now he's just trying to get to the foul.
Ramsey, steps are called. So he tried to spin out of the double team, went baseline, and he'll turn it over. Steve Payne does not agree.
Back to the man-to-man.
Now Stark will get the screen up high from Miller. Now another screen, Dupree trying to free him up. Dupree floats to the basketball, put it in, and he's fouled.
That time they double-teamed Stark right there. He had a presence of mind. Knew Dupree, really couldn't see him, but knew Dupree was on that opposite block. Threw it up there. Dupree with the finish.
And Henry will foul out as he's called for his 5th. Officials, we were about to head to our media break, and they've stopped play for just a moment. They've stopped things. Now we will head to the final media timeout. 3:57 to go. Tech by 1. We'll be back for the fantastic finish of this one as you watch the OVC tournament presented by visitmyrtlebeach.com. Dupree, a lot of iron, and it stays for him. Big night for the freshman. First career start. Tied up for the 6th time tonight. We've had 7 lead changes.
Didn't get anything out of the initial set. Now they're going to try to do dribble penetration for a shot.
Stark just grabbed him when he got beat on the spin. Number 3 on Stark. 2 shots coming for Rogers. 6 of 6 at the stripe tonight. That was all of his points in the first half, but he has come to life from the field here in the second half with 11 points, 3 3-pointers. And he'll miss the free throw.
Free throws coming back to haunt the Tennessee Tech Eagles right now.
72% on the year. The tie is broken. 1-point lead. Stark will pull up over Ramsey. Too strong with it. Rebound will kick out, and Tech will set it in their half court. Ramsey to hand it off to Mack. A lot of hand fighting there with McGee.
Same set to isolate on the post. Didn't get there. Yep.
Tough pass. Try to put a little spin, a little English to try to get that bounce pass in there to Ramsey. Just did not have the angle.
Well, when the guy's posting up, you got to throw it to him because he's maintaining contact with the defender. If the guy is breaking and cutting, you could throw it to a spot. That time, Jugovic threw it to a spot. No way Ramsey was going to break free to get that pass.
Another turnover by Tech. Now the Racers have a chance to go in front. Miller backing in, waiting, no double. Double came over help side late. Ball pinballed around. The Racers hang on to it. New shot clock, but Stark's going to probe. Off the window high, it won't go. Another rebound. Dupree throws it up there. A lot of contact, no call. Miller can't get it to go. Here's the whistle. We're going the other way.
That's not going to be a very popular call here. That's his fifth if they're going to give that to him. Sure are. That's a tough break for a freshman that's had a whale of a game. That's his fifth foul. Good look right there at Dupree. And he's another dandy as a freshman right now, and he's going to have a really good career as a Racer. You're going to see Coach McMahon, he's going to take this time opportunity, make sure he voices his opinion of that call right there to the official.
Back-to-back double-doubles, had 20 and 11 at UT Martin in the finale. Tonight he's got 12 and 11 as he fouls out at the 2:24 mark, and the Racers down one.
He's going to get a nice ovation right there, and he well should, because he's had a really good game tonight. Back-to-back solid games for him. He earned his keep tonight with his first start.
23 minutes, again 12 points, 11 boards. Freshman out of Cordova, Tennessee. Big free throws for Ramsey. He has not scored in the second half. Two of 4 at the line tonight for Ramsey. 10 points, all coming fairly early on in this game.
Man-to-man defense again. And see if they run the same set where they've done a double ball screen for Starks. He'll go one way, off the ball screen one way, and then come back and receive another one right here, just like this. This has been effective for them, and the reason why is because of that young man right there.
That was about as good a defensive job as you could play on him. Rogers stayed right with him every step, but he floats it up and in. 25 for Stark tonight, the OVC's leading scorer. We're tied up again at 60. Another grinded out half-court set. Jugovic off the screen for 3, too strong. And G. McGee will rip it down for Murray State.
I think now they're just going to let him go. We used to call this flat. Now they are going to get one single ball screen.
Stark missed it, followed it back up and in. What a player.
McMahon, Murray State with the timeout. They want to set their defense there. And you touched on it, Barry. What a player. We've seen some great individual performances tonight. Both in the first game and then now this game. There's a reason why. You good look at that young man as he's sitting down. Leading scorer in the OVC, and that just proved why. Whether it's off the dribble, whether it's off a ball screen, whether it's a pull-up three, whether it's transition, or in that case, a tip-in, the guy can flat-out play.
Well, he had 21 against Tech in the earlier meeting. He's got 27 here tonight. And the Racers have a 2-point lead thanks to Jonathan Stark's last bucket, the transfer out of Tulane. Our timeout situation, Racers have 2, Tennessee Tech with 3. Foul situation, 2 free throws, both teams down the stretch. We've seen a couple of foul outs, Dupree for Murray State and Henry for Tennessee Tech. Bryce Jones has 4 for Murray State. And no other Golden Eagle with more than 3.
Well, we said in the beginning of the broadcast, he's a Tennessee boy. Right now we're in Nashville, Tennessee. You know he's going to have a big showing in this game, and he's produced for sure.
Well, we look at a lot of those specialty stats when we do our game prep. And on the year, The Golden Eagles have not won a game this year. They're 0-8 when they're held under 65 points. They've got 60 points here tonight. And for the Racers, in tight games this year, they're only 1-7 in games decided by 5 points or less.
Well, and that's the reason why their record is under 500. I mean, that's 1-7 is a big difference right there. And, you know, a lot of it has to do with inexperience. A lot of it has to do, in my opinion, tonight they've defended very well. They've guarded very well. And I don't think they've done that as consistently throughout the year. And, you know, Stark right now is 10. He's taken 29 shots. I know it's a lot. He's a volume shooter, but the rest of the team is only 11 for 40. But the big factor, only 4 turnovers for Murray State. That's pretty efficient.
It is, and the way they started, it looked like it was going to be a turnover a minute. They just came out too fast. They weren't turning it over, just taking bad shots. All right, Tech out of this timeout, called by Murray State. We'll see what they can do in their half court. They want to run the offense through Ramsey. Near steal there on the deflection. Now Rogers will rise and fire, missed the 3, and Miller been able to corral another rebound.
It's not what Coach Payne wanted. They wanted an isolation with Ramsey on the post and play out of it. But again, Murray State's defense, their defensive schemes and their scouting has been dead on tonight, and you're seeing the results.
Now they flatten out in the 1-4. Stark will get the screen from Sanchez. Gets the mismatch against Ramsey, floats it up, won't go, tipped up, tipped into the corner, whose ball? It'll go to Murray State.
With the new shot clock with 38 seconds, now we're going to see a timeout here. I think we got a big decision right here. If you're Tennessee Tech, they're going to come to the monitor here
to
no
check
the out of bounds. They're going to check to make sure the deflected out of bounds play was called correctly, but you know, if you're Tennessee Tech here, you got a good look at the officials right there, right next to us, taking a look at the monitor. But if you're Tech, if the ball happens to be the Racers basketball, you got a decision to make here because the shot clock's at 30, but there's only 38 seconds to go. So do you not foul and take a chance for? I mean, it's a big hit chance right here. You play defense for the full 30 seconds, and hopefully you have enough time to score to tie. Big decision time for Coach Payne. I've seen coaches do it different ways.
Yeah, that is a tough call. It just to where the clock is at this point, because if you play straight up, you don't foul. You figure they've got to get a shot up at about the...
If it was in the 40s, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But when it gets under 40, you got to question some things. And do you try to, quote-unquote, extend the game? Or do you really just play solid defense with a chance with a run-out and transition?
And again, the timeouts, you see them on the screen. Tennessee Tech with 3, Murray State with 2. This is not a team called timeout as the officials are checking the monitor to make sure that the ball went off of a Golden Eagles. It was called on the court of Murray State basketball. The shot clock has been reset.
Biggest call of the game right here. You know, if I'm Coach Payne, I'm probably going to play straight up because we are better. I'm saying we as in Tennessee Tech is better in transition with Rogers and Mack getting the rebound and going. Don't call timeout. Don't set up a play. Get it and go. Go all the way to the rim if you can. If you can't, you got Jugovic trailing for a 3. I think that's their best bet. We'll see what happens here. We'll decide on who gets the ball.
Well, you pretty much know what Murray State's going to run. They've done it probably the last 10 times down the floor. They're set in the half court to get Stark free off a screen up high, a high post screen, get the mismatch as he tries to go against that defender that's going to switch over to him.
I agree with that, Barry, but it wouldn't surprise me to see a little wrinkle in that here. They've had a lot of time to talk about it here, so we're going to get the final call here.
Yeah, it'll stay with Murray State. Sometimes you have too much time, you outthink yourself, though. When you got something working with Stark, I feel better with him going to the rim.
I don't disagree with that. If it was a tie game, no brainer, but you're up 2, sometimes you can do a little decoy. But the bottom line is you want to take the shot clock down as far as you can.
G. McGee's going to trigger it in right where the ball was tipped out off of the Golden Eagles.
Really tough place. Had him right there.
Yeah, Miller flashed wide open, thought better of it. Now they're going to run the clock down. Stark's going to bounce it out here on the logo. They'll flatten out in a 1-4. Let's see what happens.
He made a wise decision right there, but there were some people on the bench that wanted him to shoot the 3 right there. I know the shot clock, but man, you're up 2. You want that clock to run as much as possible.
They want to come trap, get the ball out of Stark's hands. It's a bit of a scramble now. Down to 7 on the shot clock. He stumbled a bit. Gets it to Miller. Miller to Sanchez. Ball knocked away.
This is what I was talking
Phillips
about.
has got it. 8 seconds to go. 2-on-2. Swings it over. Driving with it to the hole. He dunks it. K-John Mack has tied it at 62. 1 second to go.
Wow, we thought we were going to have another one, didn't we, Barry?
Wow. Stark from beyond half court. Had that one online as it banked off the glass, and we're going to have for the second game tonight, overtime. Southeast Missouri survived game 1 in overtime, beating Tennessee State, and here we go to overtime in game 2.
Well, we wouldn't expect anything different from these two teams, especially after the first game tonight. But again, give Tennessee Tech a lot of credit there. They played straight up defense. They took the ball out of the best player's hands, got the turnover, didn't call timeout, took the time, and Rogers all the way to the rim with a flush.
Wild finish here at the end of regulation as we get set for this 5-minute overtime. Yeah, it got into that scramble as you talked about, and give Phillips some credit. He backed it out. I was getting worried there from the Tech standpoint that he didn't know the clock.
No.
And he gave it up to Mack, and he took it right down the lane and hammered it home.
I said, Rogers, I'm talking Mack. Well, big-time players make big-time plays when their team needs it the most. And that's what Rogers has done. That's what Mack has done for Tennessee Tech.
Well, the Racers this year are 0-4 in overtime. We talked about that stat a moment ago. 1-7 in games decided by 5 points or less. They're 0-4 in overtime. Meanwhile, for Tennessee Tech, they are 2-0 this year in overtime, with wins at TSU and at Jacksonville State. Two pretty good teams that they
absolutely
won at in overtime.
Absolutely. Well, I think that was a mini snapshot of why Murray State has been 1-7. As good as Starks has been, they didn't score the last 3 possessions of the game. And they didn't close the game out. They scored, they allowed Tennessee Tech to hang on, and with the scramble, to be able to tie the game and send it in the overtime here. And again, where's the momentum? Is it Tennessee Tech with that momentum play, or is it Murray State because they've kind of dictated the tempo? We'll see.
Despite the poor shooting. First time ever. 2 overtime games in the opening round of the OVC tournament. Jugovic left open. Missed it. He's had a couple of good looks here late. Can't get them to go.
He's had some great looks, and that's one you got to make. You're that wide open, you got to make that. You're not going to get any more open shot than that.
Here's Stark into the paint. Here's a 3 out of the left corner. Too strong. Won't go for McGee. Big rebound by Phillips.
Get the Tennessee Tech crowd all standing behind the bench there for the Eagles.
Into Ramsey. Quick double. Now they back away. Now the double comes again. Ramsey, little jump hook. Baseline won't go. Miller pulls it down.
We talked about that in the first half. Bumped him out just a couple more feet.
Stark with that blazing speed. Missed it. Almost got his own rebound, but Phillips pulled it away.
Again, a volume shooter, volume shots, but not very productive in the last minute here. The last minute of the regular and the last minute here in overtime.
Now Phillips leans in on Sanchez. A lot of contact. They play on. One and done at each end of the floor. Coach McMahon barks out the signals. Stark's going to give it up to McGee. Right back to Stark. Miller had position for a moment, but no angle for the pass.
Phillips playing the 4, really undersized matchup against Miller.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Stark. Step back, fade away, off the mark. Rebounded McGee. Strong rebound on the inside.
You know, we talked about this. A lot of times when you have a great scorer, your offense gets stagnated because you rely so much on him. And obviously he's a great player, but sometimes you lose the flow of the offense, and I really feel like that's what's happened to the Racers here. They're fortunate to get to the free throw line, but just feel like the movement and the offense and the post, throwing the ball to post, inside out, is really stagnated here for Racers.
McGee's had a quiet night. That's his first points of the second half, just 3 in the game. Moved into the starting lineup with the loss of DeMarcus Croker. And McGee knocks them both down. 64-62. First points of the overtime belong to the Racers. Now Tech, can they answer? Straight away. Good look at it, drained it. Mack. Quick timeout by the Golden Eagles.
You know, that's what seniors do. He struggled in first half. He struggled shooting free throws, struggled getting defensive rebounds. He had that monster dunk, and now he stepped up, made a huge three. And that's, give a lot of experience to upperclassmen. It's been through the wars, so to speak, and give him a lot of credit. I think he showed a lot of character in this game.
And that's a good way to describe Mack's entire career. Missed two years at Tulane due to injury. And when you have those injuries, you miss seasons, you think it's time maybe to give it up. But he's hung in there, had a great season.
You could tell he loves the game.
It's been the Tech starters tonight. All 5 are in double digits, only 1 point off their bench this evening.
Well, I hope for his sake that he gets that extra year granted from the NCAA, but I think we all have our opinion what the NCAA does sometimes, and there's no rhyme or reason to decisions, but I hope it comes out the best for him.
Now the Racers have to answer. Stark. To Jones, who's been quiet tonight. He's been battling foul trouble. Inside Miller, going to get an open look and lay in.
Okay, that time they played through Bryce Jones instead of Stark. Jones is a better distributor right there. Low to the ground. Made the great shovel pass there. That was good flow to the offense there.
Racers retake the lead. Mack on the bounce. Tough shot. Put it in.
Think he wants to win this game right now?
Back and forth we go. Now the Racers must answer. Jones to Stark, letting him come off the ball this time. Step back, that's his move, got it.
That's a great call by Coach McMahon. They ran him off the baseline. He used to do the same thing for Isaiah Cannon for years, where they run him off a double screen off the baseline.
Left wide open. Drain the three, Mack.
Coach Payne with another timeout. I look for a change in defensive scheme right here, and I think he's looking at his assistants right now. Hey, do we do the zone? Do we play one possession of zone? Do we switch? Who do we double? What do we do with? All those questions are going through Coach's mind. All week they've practiced it. They've had their defensive schemes all year, but now it's really come to the test. So can they execute it? Decision time right now for Tennessee Tech for defensive purposes.
Okay, John Mack, 15 of his 16 here in the second half and in the overtime. We kept calling for it. Would Mack and Rogers ever join the party? And boy, have they.
Sure have. They haven't disappointed, that's for sure.
2-point Tech lead, 1:39 to go in overtime.
That's the 8th straight point for Mack, and I'm really happy for him because I know he was struggling there for a little while.
He got the dunk and the scramble play to beat the buzzer to send us to overtime. Although Stark got a decent look at it from beyond half court. Now the Racers again have to answer back. They're down 2. Stark's going to pull up and fire over. Ramsey hits the 3.
Now Coach McMahon, same thing. Timeout. Let's talk about defensively. That was a great set. They haven't shown that set all along. And Coach Payne's all the way out there at the half-court line wanting to know if they're going to check the monitor to make sure it was a 3.
He asked for it, and they're going to come over and take a look. It took a while, but we finally have some pretty good offensive flow to this game.
Well, that was good flow right there. It was a good set call by McMahon. Space the floor. Chose Ramsey as Ramsey was guarding the other post. And it is confirmed it is a three. Chose Ramsey as the defender because felt like he could either go around him or shoot over him, and he did it. He shot right over Ramsey.
Each team with 2 timeouts as we head down the stretch as they get that extra timeout in the overtime, and the coaches have been using them after these big makes. They've been setting up defensive strategy. So far, it hasn't worked. Each team's been able to better offense beats good defense. Now will the Golden Eagles answer. They're down 1. The hot man is Mack. We'll give it up to Jugovic. Mack's going to come and take it. G. McGee with him. He'll back out and reset on the attack. Yep. There's the hand check. Put the hands on him, so McGee picks up foul number 4.
Double bonus. Mack at the free throw line again.
Well, this is where he struggled tonight. 3 of 6 at the line, despite being a 75% free throw shooter.
One of the things we got some young viewers out there, hopefully they're not up this late watching as they got school tomorrow. But you notice where he starts the free throw, the ball's below his waist. So when he makes his upward motion, you want a shorter motion. You want to start the ball, see it's all by his knees, he goes all the way up. You want a shorter motion than that.
He's been 1 out of 2 all night. Ties us up at 71 with 1:09 to go. Alexander on the ball on Stark here.
Trying to get some length on Stark to contest that shot.
Stark spinning. Shot won't go. 1 and done as the Golden Eagles get the rebound. There's Mack. Now to Phillips. Underneath Alexander. Mack pump fakes the 3. Jugovic. And nearly threw it away. Great hustle that time. And it's still deflected by Stark the other way. It will be Tech ball. Shot clock did not reset. No one ever had possession. It's at 7 seconds.
Shot clock's at 7. Game clock at 31 seconds. They're going to confer to see if there was a change of possession, the officials.
Now you talk about heart determination. Mack went to the floor. There was no way they come up with that ball.
And he shook up a little bit. He's looking up in the sky, so to speak.
I mean, it was all-out effort. He dove for that ball. Came out of nowhere to keep it alive. Stark able to tip it into the backcourt as well. So the officials come to the monitor again just to our left to make sure. Right now it's showing 7 seconds. You see on your screen 31 seconds left here in overtime number 1.
What they're checking right now is to see did the ball actually go out of bounds off of Murray State. Stark 1 point away from his season high of 33 points. At 32 at this point. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if he gets that, Warriors probably win.
First time in OVC tournament history, we've had 2 overtime games in the first round.
Well, we felt like this coming into this tournament. We felt like that these were 4 very evenly matched teams. Felt all those things that this felt like it was prime for a great matchup, and it is confirmed that the ball is Tennessee Tech.
Now the issue now, Coach, is the ball went out down near the Murray bench, so they're going to have to come at least 3/4 the length of the floor with 7 seconds on their shot clock in a tie ball game with 31 seconds to go. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining.
Well, Murray State's not a zone team, but sometimes you might want to do this. If you man-to-man or you gamble, you may miss, and the guy may get dribble penetration way too far. If you could just contain, make him shoot a contested 3. And if it was me, I wouldn't let Mack shoot it at all.
Tech went ahead and took the timeout once everything was confirmed. So Tennessee Tech down to 1 timeout. Murray State with 2 here in overtime.
Little confusion here. You can see they drew up a play. This is not something that you practice a whole lot on the side with less than 7 seconds or less. you do full length, but this is, I'm obviously they've worked on it. They got a set here. There he had him. He missed him.
The Racers pick up full court. 4 seconds on the shot clock. It's all Mack. He's got to go. McGee stays in front of him. Tough three. Missed it. Long rebound kicks out. It's Murray ball. 22 seconds to go. Tied at 71.
I really felt like they had Rogers in the slip right there going in the opposite direction towards the basket. Really could have gotten that in stride, so to speak.
Jones to inbound. They double team Stark. It has to come into McGee. Now Jones going to have to bring it up the floor.
Rogers going to face guard Stark. Not going to let him touch it at all possible. Don't pick up the cheap foul.
Jones will hand it to Stark. 10 seconds to play. Stark waves everybody off. He'll step back. The shot is up. Missed it and rebounded by Tech, and that will do it for overtime number 1. We'll go to a second overtime, tied at 71. And our official went down on that play, and he is hobbled as he gets up.
Well, for tomorrow night.
Overtime number 2 is underway. Jones quickly to the rim, put it in. He's fouled by Ramsey.
He's been quiet this game because he got in foul trouble, sat a lot of the second half, but he made a nice play in that run there late in the game with a shovel pass assist, and there was a big-time finish right there for Bryce Jones. Murray State 5 turnovers in 45 minutes of basketball.
Jones double figures. Three-point lead Racers.
I think that's been the largest lead for both teams in the last few minutes of both.
Now Rogers. Little off balance, he stumbles, has his pocket picked. Here comes Stark. And he'll back it out with a three-point lead.
It's a big possession here for both teams. Opportunity for Murray State to extend it, get the momentum their way. Tennessee Tech not to get far out of whack.
Jones, tough shot, it wouldn't go, but an offensive board. Sanchez comes up with it. Racers reset it, up 3.
Running Stark off that baseline. You see both posts low. Stark's just going to run the baseline, use the screen, curl off of it, flare just to get open.
Now Jones will have to go. 7 on the timer. Picks up his dribble. Sanchez doesn't want to shoot it, so Jones has to go. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Missed it. G. McGee, great rebounding position, and another possession for the Racers. Eight seconds on the shot clock. Sanchez looking for the high-low. He threw it away. Laid up and in by Rogers.
What a backbreaker for Murray State. 3 opportunities to score. Couldn't get it done. The toughness of Tennessee Tech shows through right there with Rogers with a great anticipation.
1-point game. We hit the 3-minute mark in the second overtime. Collision underneath. Fourth on Phillips. Ramsey and Phillips with 4 each. Jones and McGee with 4 for Murray State.
Only the second basket off a turnover for Tennessee Tech, and give the credit to Murray State for not turning it over. But Tech getting 4 points off 5 turnovers, or 6 turnovers now.
Jones has shouldered the scoring load here in the second overtime. Had the 3-point play, gets fouled. Now he's going to try to knock down the second free throw. And he will.
I think they should play through him a little bit more here in the overtime. Stark struggled finishing the game out with making shots. Jones has been pretty solid. I would play more through him.
Tech trying to answer back, down 3. Back, tough contested 3. Phillips kept it alive. What a tip out. And a great save by Rogers. Jugovic has been quiet. All the way through the lane. Players everywhere, and Murray State's going to come up with it. Stark will put on the brakes. Now he'll go and lay it in. Five-point Racer lead.
No lead is safe tonight, that's for sure. Big possession for the Eagles.
Phillips into the paint, back out Jugovic, 3, good. Big shot.
We're going to check the monitor on this one to make sure it was a 3.
Tech took the timeout, so the officials are going to take time to look at the monitor just to confirm, since Tech called the timeout on the third made three-pointer of the night for Jugovic. 15 for him, but he's been quiet. That was a tough catch and shoot. Very little space between him and the defender, and he was able to knock that one in. That was a big one.
That was just sheer toughness right there. I think he was frustrated with the possession before when he kind of got off balance in the drive and kind of got knocked to the ground. No call. I think he was meaning to make a statement on that 3, and he sure did.
Starks the high point man with 34. Rogers with 20 for Tennessee Tech. Second overtime. Murray State by 2. 2:08 to play.
A little tougher angle to see on the 3 here. Take a little longer than normal.
The timeouts also valuable. Murray State will have 3. 1 for Tennessee Tech.
It's confirmed as a 3.
Good to see our official backup. Took a spill there late. He's still a little bit gimpy on that ankle. A Stark came down after that missed shot. Knocked the official to the ground. So Tech coming with pressure. Now McGee, he'll hand it over to Stark. Stark will gallop across the timeline.
And they had some success running him off the baseline, and they're going to put him at the top here. They're going to run ball screens, and again, I still think I would run it through Bryce Jones.
Got the length of Alexander on Stark, 6 on the timer. Again, he wants to step back. Miller's got to go. Does he know it? And it's turned over. Ramsey got the steal.
See, again, you know, when you have a dominant player that dominates the ball and great scorer, you're stagnant the rest of the players. And we saw that right there. Everybody was standing around waiting for Miller and Stark to make plays, and it took away the flow of the offense. They were more effective when Bryce Jones was playing the point with Stark coming off that baseline.
Third foul on Miller. Ramsey to the line.
That's 2 turnovers here in the overtime here.
It's 11 points for Ramsey tonight. Had his season high 19 against this Racer team in that earlier meeting and got off to a great start tonight, but he has been quiet. Can he tie it up here? Free throw number 2 in the air, good.
Just like that tie ball game. Murray State had the ball with a 5-point lead, couldn't convert. Tennessee Tech shows some toughness on both ends of the floor, tie game.
Stark gets a screen from Miller. They get the switch. Stark rising fire, knocks in a 2.
That time he had some space. He wasn't jumping up and shooting over somebody that time.
36 for Stark. Now Tech must answer. Off the screen, Jugovic drives, got up in the air, flips it out for a Phillips 3. Off the mark, up high is Alexander.
He way up high to get that one.
Tough drive, Phillips, it goes. Count it, he'll go to the line.
Give Alexander all the credit for that. He's the one that made that play with that offensive rebound tip, whatever you want to call it. Great amount of athleticism. Starks got popped in the face right there. Officials take a look at him. He's saying he got an elbow.
Miller got that foul. It's number 4 on him. 12 tonight for Phillips.
You can see the official talking to Stark, and Stark saying he got his arm. I disagree with this, but they're going to look at the monitor on this.
So back to the monitor we go. No timeout call. It's an official timeout as they'll review and just see if there was on maybe a discard or something was away from the ball. Did Stark catch one? He's complaining, took a shot to the face. Anything above the shoulders, they can take a look and see. That was very quick.
That was a quick review. No timeout, just getting it. I disagree with him even coming to the monitor on that one, especially because a coach didn't request it, a player did.
Well, if anything, it gave Mr. Phillips a little more time to think about this free throw.
There's a little gamemanship going on out there by the players.
Can he break the tie with exactly 1 minute to play in overtime number 2? He will. Racers will take a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. Tennessee Tech with 1 remaining. 1 minute to go. Tech by 1, 81-80. Double overtime here. Opening night of the OVC tournament. We've still got 3 more nights of this. Can they get any better than these first 2 games?
Wow. Well, this is the first timeout we've seen for the offensive end. All the other timeouts have been for the defensive end, so to speak. And, you know, at Murray State, well, this will be interesting to see what they do here. Are they going to do the screen and re-screen for Stark? Are they going to run him off the baseline? What are they going to do here? If you're Tech, are you going to switch? Are you going to double it, make him give it up? All those questions you got to ask as a coach.
We've been tied 11 times in this game, 15 lead changes.
Wow.
Tech by 1. They're going to pick up full court. Bryce Jones will inbound it.
They're going to try to deny Stark as much as possible, make him work. Now you notice the matchup here. You got Alexander, 6'6", 6'7", with his length right there. You can see it right there, trying to disrupt. The key is, can he get through a ball screen?
Staying right with Stark, and there's contact and a foul. Number 2 on Alexander. Stark will shoot 2. 3 of 3 at the line tonight, 36 points for Stark.
They just let a guy come in. You can't sub in for a guy. Yeah, they're going to stop here. They can't sub in for a guy until after the first free throw. It's a 2-shot free throw, so cannot sub in until after the first free throw.
Yeah, he'll come back in.
Yes.
49 minutes tonight for Stark. High minute man for Tech, Jugovic and Ramsey played 47 minutes each.
Yeah, Rogers been taking a seat for the last couple minutes. I'm not sure why. He's only got 2 fouls, but he's going to come back in for offensive purposes for Alexander. That's probably an offense-defense at this point.
So here goes Stark to the line with 36 points tonight.
Now you can sub in.
Rogers back in with 20. High point man for the Golden Eagles. Stark hits them both. 82% on the year. You see why.
I hate for either one of these teams to lose tonight, Barry. I would not want to be in the locker room after that losing team. These guys have played their hearts out tonight, both ends of the floor.
Phillips a drive. Phillips into contact off the window and good. Tech back in front by 1.
And remember, no live ball timeouts anymore.
Stark pull up at the elbow, rimmed out, rebounded by Mack. It's a tie-up. Possession arrow will go to Tennessee Tech.
Stay with Tech, but that could have been a crucial call right there. You want to secure the rebound. Now, I wouldn't call timeout here. I would save it in case you can't get the ball inbounds.
Tech with just the 1 timeout. Murray State, they do have 2.
Okay, so Murray ends up calling they have 1 left. But that's a good decision right there by Coach Payne. I think they were originally going to call the timeout, but at this point you're ahead. You just want to get the ball in bounds, and if you can't, then call the timeout.
So Tech with the 1-point lead, each team with one timeout remaining. Tech on that tie-up possession error will give them the basketball. The winner will turn around and play tomorrow night, as we are about 21 minutes away from midnight here in Nashville. And they'll have to play Morehead State, the winner of this game, around 8:30, 8:45 tomorrow night. Quick turnaround. All right, it'll be Phillips to inbound it.
1-4 cross, standard press breaker. We got to make a decision. Murray's got to send somebody back. So I thought Ramsey made the last 2 out of 2. He needs to run right to the ball right now to get to right there.
Ramsey will get it right back to Phillips. He'll be fouled. Again, he had to hold his spot there. He couldn't run it.
Yeah. Well, Ramsey should have, he set the screen, should have ran right to the ball then. Got it in a little quicker.
G. McGee becomes the second racer to foul out. Just 4 points for G tonight. And the youngster, Grace, the sophomore, is going to come in.
Well, regardless here, Murray State's going to have an opportunity to tie it here, regardless of what happens. Take the lead or tie it.
Phillips 4 of 5 at the line tonight.
Now, I would send the second guy up there in case to tip it out. Now, Tennessee Tech is not. They're going to send all their guys back.
Tech by 1. Can Phillips get it to 2 on the second? 13.7 to go. He will.
Alexander coming in for defense.
All right, Tech by 2, 13.7 to go.
Rogers comes out.
Now to Stark. Alexander will be with him.
You can't let him get a running head start here.
Stark, 3. Got it!
Timeout Tech. Still 6 seconds to go. Can't celebrate. Can't celebrate. You got to be careful with that. Long time to go. 6 seconds to go. Now, he made a tough shot there, but Tennessee Tech didn't do a good job on the double team on the ball screen, which led to that gap right there. You cannot let a guy get an open look like that. I don't care how deep it is in that situation.
41 tonight for Jonathan Stark, the junior out of Munford, Tennessee.
So, little disagreement. It's a 30-second timeout, not a media timeout.
The Tech is out of timeouts. Murray State has 1 timeout remaining. Racers by 1, 6.1 to go. We're in double overtime. The opening night of the OVC tournament, it has been something else here, folks.
Common theme for both games is the team with the most turnovers has lost.
Stark's 2 points shy of the OVC tournament scoring record. Bubba Wells for Austin Peay back in 1997.
Sure enough.
Put up 43 in a game, or 42 in a game. All right, so it will be Rogers to trigger it in.
I like what he's going to do here. You're going to watch. It's hard to see on the monitor here, but he's got all 4 guys on one side of the floor so he can get a clear out to get a guy curl. I think he's going to curl around so he can catch the ball on the run and get a running start up the opposite sidelines.
6.1 to go. Official still holding the ball. And a timeout called by the Racers. They take their final timeout. Both teams without timeouts. 6.1 to go. Tech have to go the length of the floor. They're down 1.
Well, they kind of gave it away. That's a good timeout by Coach McMahon. He saw the lineup. They put all 4 guys up on our side, closest to the half-court line. And what they were going to do is, I've seen this play before, they're going to curl the guy. Looked like Mack was going to come off of it, run to the opposite sideline. They were going to run the sideline, throw a baseball pass so he has a running start going to the basket. That's what it looked like was going to happen to me. Let's see if they continue that or have a different lineup or different setup coming out of the timeout.
And here you wonder when you get in these type situations if the whistle will be put away with 6.1 to go.
5 years ago, I'd have said yes. I don't know anymore, Barry. I don't know anymore. Big factor here is the guys should be able to run the line, run the out-of-bounds line. So we saw that, for those college basketball fans, we saw how Virginia Commonwealth beat St. Bonaventure, I believe it was, on that out-of-bounds play where they set the screen. The guy flopped. Matter of fact, he's a Dixon County kid that made the 2 free throws, is a Dixon County graduate in that game. Looks like it's going to be the same play here. You could see Mack as the back guy. I would think he's going to curl right around the front. Yep, Jones is even pointing there. We're going to see if Rogers ends up, there it is right there. He's got a running start.
Gets it to Mack. Across half court, 3 seconds to go. They trap him, throws over
Uh-oh.
for 3, won't go. Rogers had a decent look at it. It would not go, and Murray State will survive and advance in double overtime. They win it 85-84. What a ball game.
It sure was. We thought we were fortunate in the first game to have that kind of atmosphere and individual performance. And boy, it was overshadowed by this game. Double overtime. Jonathan Stark breaking all sorts of records, making a monster 3 to put his team up 1. And then SIUE having a chance to win it, Tennessee Tech having a chance to win it at the buzzer. Unbelievable.
And Coach McMahon's going to put the headset on.
How you doing, Barry?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What a ball game tonight, and you survive and advance. It's March, and you got the win tonight. Now you got to turn around and play again tomorrow, but what an incredible game.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. A lot of credit to Tennessee Tech. Coach Payne really does an incredible job, and their guards are really tough covers, and then Ramsey's developed into such a good player in the post. But really proud of our guys. We've been in some tough spots in overtime where we haven't been able to get over the hump, and they just kept battling and fighting. And apologize to them for not subbing them out more. They had to play a lot, but they're resilient. They'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Yeah, you had not won an overtime game this year at 0-4, but you go to double overtime to get this one tonight. Well, what can you say about Jonathan Stark's 41 points? Just an incredible night scoring the basketball, leading your team.
He's an amazing player. He can really score in a lot of different ways. I thought our guys, especially our post players, very unselfish. They set a ton of screens for him, and they really worked hard to free him up and get him open, and he stepped up and delivered. That last 3 to take the lead, I promise you that was no special coaching there. That was just a great player making a big-time shot.
And we saw the chess match back and forth between you and Coach Payne. A lot of it was to try to set the defense, and you finally had a timeout there late to get the offense going, but it was back and forth, each team answering one another.
I wasn't using the timeouts for strategy. I was just trying to get our guys some rest so we could survive and get by. But just really proud of our guys. I thought did a nice job corralling the ball. I wouldn't have liked to have given up that open of a shot, but it was about a 27-footer, and fortunately it was off the mark.
Well, you played Morehead State one time this year. You played at their place, went into overtime, 101-100. Will you have enough in the tank if it gets one of those up-and-down games tomorrow night?
We will. Their guards, Moon and Descent, have had an incredible year, and then Marrero in the post. It was a heck of a game up there. We took the lead by 1 in overtime, 9 seconds to go, and couldn't get the stop. Descent made a great play to win the game. So we'll get these guys back to the hotel, rest them up a little bit. No need to have a shoot-around tomorrow. They're just got to suck it up and go play against a very talented Morehead team.
Congratulations, Coach.
Barry, thanks so much.
Okay.